Okay, today meditation is about the Noble Eightfold Path meditation. So, the Noble Eightfold Path is that, right view, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness and right concentration. And so, what is the right view? The right view is the knowledge of suffering, the knowledge of the origin of suffering, knowledge of cessation of suffering, knowledge of the way of practice leading to the cessation of suffering. So this the Four Noble Truths then we need to learn. So again it's in the website it's mentioned what is the Four Noble Truths, and it is the first one is the what monk is the noble truth of suffering. The birth is suffering, aging is suffering, death is suffering, sorrow, lamentation, pain, sadness and distress are suffering. Union with what is displeasing is suffering, separation from what is pleasing is suffering, not getting what one wants is suffering. In short, the five aggregates of grasping are suffering. So here we have this birth, aging, sickness, death, and we are coming back to that one little by little. And then this is the first truth, the noble truth. And in the second noble truth, Buddha is saying the noble truth of origin of suffering. And it is this craving that gives rise to rebirth, accompanied by pleasure and delight, finding fresh delight now here, now there. That is to say, craving for sensuality, craving for existence, craving for non-existence. So how do we going to understand this one? To understand these three kind of craving, first let us say that you are working and you are earning money, and then you pay quite a lot of bills, your electricity bill, gas bill, the rent and so on. Having paid all those bills, then you left with sort of $10 or so. Now you think that I will have some fun from this one. So then you go to a mango dealer to buy some mangoes. So mango dealer is selling you two piles of mangoes. One pile is $10 or less. The other pile is expensive, $20 or so. The $10 one is bit rotten, insect bites and so on are there. The $20 one is good. What you have in your hand is $10 thing. So then you buy this $10 one, and then you think that it's a gain for me, because if I take a mango, a rotten mango, cut down the rotten part, then I get about 3/4 of it. And if I am to spend $20, then I will get about 1.5. So you are thinking that this is a gain, and then you buy that rotten mango pile and then you eat. And then there is this pleasure coming out. So that pleasure will create this craving for sensuality. And now you define your life. Now you think this is what I am going to do. I will go to work, earn money, pay quite a lot of bills, and then I will save $10 and eat a mango and live. Because if you were to sort of spend all the money on, paying bills and so on, there is no fun. But since the mango gave you some sort of happiness, now you are happy to live, so you define your life. This is how I am going to do. So that is this craving for existence. So craving for sensuality led to craving for existence. Now you are happy to live now. Now after some time you are saying it's okay for me not to have that mango, but let me have the pleasure that when I eat the mango, the pleasure, let me have that pleasure. In other words, you are saying I am happy to live apart from the mango. So that is the craving for non-existence. It does not mean that I do not want to exist, but rather I would like to live apart from the mango, but I still demand the feeling that I got when I was eating the mango. So now you can see this craving for sensuality led to craving for existence, then they both led us to craving for non-existence. The craving for non-existence is so big compared to the other ones. Since you have been born in, formless sphere, births like the space is infinite, consciousness infinite planes, that you have lived very long time over there, that the permanency that you got out of those existence is imposing certain conditions upon you today when you look at certain things. Now Buddha is saying, how does this craving come to arise? Whenever I is enticing and pleasurable, that is where craving gets established. Ear, sound, nose and so on, when they are enticing and pleasurable, we get this craving established. And on the third noble truth, Buddha is saying, it is the complete fading away and extinction of this craving, its forsaking, abandonment and liberation from it, detachment from it. And how does this craving come to be abandoned? That we are talking about three kinds of craving. Craving for sensuality, craving for existence, craving for non-existence. So whenever something enticing and pleasurable, we get this craving established, and that is the place to remove it as well. So there is cessation comes about from that one. And then the fourth noble truth, Buddha is saying, it is this noble eightfold path, the right view to right concentration, and that is the path leading to the cessation of this suffering. So now we come back we start with the right view, and we understood about the noble truth of suffering, noble truth of the cause of suffering, noble truth of the cessation of suffering, noble truth of the path leading to the cessation of suffering. So I am back in right view. So now we understood it is suffering, and this suffering is created because of the craving. So would you repeat it like a parrot? It is suffering, and this suffering is created by crave. You take some sort of a decision. Because of the craving that this is happening to me, so let me give up this thing. So that leads to thought of renunciation. So we are coming to the right thought. So thought of renunciation, thought of non-malevolence, thought of non-harming. These three terms are linked to each other as well. To the extent you have thought of renunciation, to that extent you have thought of non-malevolence. To that extent you have thought of non-harming. Let us take a simple example. Let us say that you see on a TV that something you want to buy, they are advertising 50% off. Let's say a pirate dish. So you want to buy this one, and then you rush into the supermarket to buy that one. Unfortunately, others have seen this ad before, and then they have taken these 5 dishes, and there is only one left in the aisle. So you go there, and then you put your hand. By that time, another person is putting their hand to the 5 dish as well. What will happen? One would be dragging in their direction, the other one would be dragging in their direction. There will be some sort of a fight. So if someone is less greedy, that person would be saying, okay, I don't want this one, you have it. So the other person will say, thank you, and take it. So see, to the extent I can give up a pious dish, to that extent I have the non-malevolence, non-ill will. To that extent I have the thought of non-harming. There is no fight over here. So these three things form three paths. The thought of renunciation is non-greed path. Thought of non-malevolence is non-hate path. Thought of non-harming is non-delusion path. So we are going through non-greed, non-hate, non-delusion. So now I am in a good practice that I am following through the Eightfold Path, and having understood that it is suffering, suffering is caused by this craving, I was ready to give up. So then I got the right thought. So since I am following through non-greed path, anything that are in the greed path would be an obstruction to me. What are the things that are in greed path? That lying is in the greed path. Lying lead to greed, greed lead to lying. It goes both ways. How do you understand this one? Let us say someone, a robber, steals something, and then a police is asking, did you steal? So this person is saying, no, I did not steal, because he wants to cover it up, he doesn't want to go to jail. So that person is lying. So since I am following through the non-greed path, I will be giving up things that are in the greed path. So I will be giving up lying. I am following through the non-hate path, and then things that are in the hate path would be an obstruction to me. What are the things in the whole hate path? The slander and the harsh speech, they are in the hate path. So I am giving up them. And then I am following through the non-harming path. So that is the non-delusion path. It is in the delusion path that we do have these frivolous talks. Since I am following through the non-delusion path, I will be giving up frivolous talk. So now you can see, from the right view we got right thought. In other words, right thought proceeds from the right view. And from the right thought we get right speech. The right speech proceeds from the right thought. Again you can see, I am following through the non-greed path. It is in the greed path that we do have stealing. So since I am following through the non-greed path, I will be giving up stealing. That is refraining from taking what is not given. And again I am going to following through the non-hate path. It is in the hate path that I have this killing. Since I am following through the non-hate path, I will be refraining from taking life. And again I am following through the non-delusion path. It is in the delusion path that we do have sexual misconduct. Since I am following through the non-delusion path, I will be giving up sexual misconduct. Now you can see, from the right speech, we come to the right action. From the right action, we come to the right livelihood. Here, the Aryan disciple, having given up wrong livelihood, keeps himself by right livelihood. So this one says that a bhikkhu would not be drawing any lines on sands. He won't be sort of cutting down trees and so on. You know, even if you draw a line on sands, little insects underneath the sand can die. So it's forbidden from the rule of conduct for a monk to do those things. So although Buddha explained those things in those terms, what Buddha meant was really big thing. It was this Sampati Mahabrahma who explained to me this one. He said, from the right livelihood, you can get rid of the conceit, I am. We have this arrogance, I am, conceit. So how do you get rid of that one? By having the right livelihood. Those days, when Sampati Mahabrahma explained those things to me, it was very far away things for me to understand. I can explain this one using a simple example. Let us say there is a starvation time on earth and you do not have food, but fortunately you have eaten, and then you have 2 packets of noodles left in your cupboard. So having eaten, you go to the road, then you look at, and people are going here and there looking for food. What is the thought that is coming to your mind? Is it the thought that I do have 2 packets of noodles at home? Or is it the thought, oh, these poor people? It is the thought that I have 2 packets of noodles at home is the one coming to your mind. Because you see, one example is that if you have cancer and someone else is coming and tells you that that person has got cancer, what do you say? You would say, I also have it. The other person did not ask whether you have cancer or not. But me comes first. Likewise, I do have 2 packets of noodles at home, is the one coming to your mind. So because of the 2 packets of noodles, there you got arrogance. Not only you have 2 packets of noodles, you have properties, you have, children, you have cows, cats, and all those things, and the vehicles, money, and so on. Each one of them count. And because of those things, we get this arrogance. I saw this one in a temple. We took alms food to the temple. The monk, having eaten alms food, he said that we did not have any food yesterday. And we were sort of worried, and we were talking to him with sad mind, and he was smiling. And I asked, why are you smiling? And he said that we had 2 packets of noodles in the cupboard, and we boiled them and we ate. You see, if we did not have 2 packets of noodles in the temple, then that monk would be thinking, this is the suffering that the householder is having. He is going to work, earn money, go into this much trouble for this food. I am also part of it. Then the suffering is become apparent to him. This is why Buddha is not allowing monks to have any raw food material, raw food in their kitchen. They can't even keep salt in their premises. It's not allowed. It's forbidden by the rule of conduct. So, because otherwise he would understand that this is the suffering, this is the problem that everybody is facing. Now that this food part, normally think that is a little thing. It's not a little thing. That is the one actually letting us go from this birth to birth. Is a very big thing. You will learn this one tomorrow, little by little. So that monk became arrogant because of that one. So you can see, we haven't got right livelihood. We have the wrong livelihood. Who has got this right livelihood? A monk who is going in alms round and not touching money. Only that person has got it. Even if you are a monk, if you are touching money, then you don't have this right livelihood. Because money can buy anything. You can buy, whatever the food or whatever thing, whatever the happiness, you can buy from that one. So, we don't have right livelihood. Now we have come up to the right livelihood. These right action and right livelihood form something called the Eightfold Path meditation is consisting of 4 parts, and that is called development of body, development of virtue, development of mind, and development of wisdom. In Pali it's called Bhavita Kaya, Bhavita Sila, Bhavita Chitta, Bhavita Prajna. So the development of body consisting of 2 things, that is right action and the right livelihood, which we discussed a little while ago. And from this one, what you get is the concentration due to desire. The concentration due to desire in a nutshell, that if you understand the consciousness is not lasting, then the desire for the non-lasting consciousness will subside. And then you get the desire. Desire would arise for the lasting Nibbana. Nibbana is the only thing that is lasting. Anything else is impermanent. So how do you get the concentration due to desire? Because of the right action and the right livelihood. So how do we get that done? If you don't have the right action, what do you have? Is the wrong action. That means you are killing, stealing, and you have sexual misconduct. So let us say you are killing. If you are killing an animal, can you sort of kill that animal without taking a long breath? By the time you think, I will kill this guy, this creature, you get a long breath. It's natural, it is coming up. By the time you are lifting up a knife to kill that animal, then you get long breath. When you are actually stabbing the animal, again you get a long breath. But if you are not going to do that one, then you are not breathing in, you are not taking a long breath to think that I will kill that animal. You are not going to take long breath to lift up a knife to kill that animal. You are not stabbing the animal. You are not taking a long breath. In other words, it's the cessation of inhaling and exhaling. And that is the fourth jhana, concentration. From the fourth jhana, concentration, you go into the concentration due to desire. Again, the wrong action, you can see that we are stealing. So, now, normally people who are going to work, that on a Sunday afternoon, that person is taking a long breath, because that person remember that I have to go to work tomorrow. So, going to work is considered as stealing. You will learn this on the third day. So, if I am not going to work, then I don't have to take that long breath. So again, cessation of inhaling and exhaling, and that lead to the concentration due to desire with the fourth jhana, concentration. And the right, what is helping right action? It is the right livelihood. You see, can you take a plate in your hand and go to the next door neighbor and say, well, I am going to have fun in the world, watch TV, have children and so on. Could you please help me? And then put your plate in front of him. He will chase you out. But for a monk, he can say that having known that this whole world is suffering, I am trying to end the suffering. Could you please help me? So then the other person will help him. So on the other hand, how we were raised? We were raised that you learn and then earn money and stand on your feet. And going to another person's house, with a plate or begging, the patra, the bowl that Buddhist monks are carrying. And it's not good thing. That's how you are sort of trained. But what Buddha is saying, if you want to end this suffering, that going to work and earning money and doing that one is not the correct way. And so, our wrong livelihood is preventing us from going in, with a plate in our hand and asking other people help to end this samsara, the going from birth to birth. So because we have the conceit, because of our wrong livelihood. So from that one, if I have less conceit, then I am happy even to become a monk and sort of, live that sort of simple life, and then I get the concentration due to desire. And there is a one coming above this one and one below the right livelihood, and that is the right speech and the right effort. And those two form something called development of virtue, bhavita sila. And that leads to concentration due to mind. It's chitta samadhi in Pali. So, for me to explain the concentration due to mind, let us say you are studying for an exam and two people are coming near you and then they are actually talking. And then so it's much trouble for you. And then your father or mom is saying, please go away somewhere and you talk, let this child study. And they are far away. You can't hear what they are talking about. But aren't you actually blaming them? They were here, they did not actually let me study. And then what are they actually talking about? What the things they were talking about, politics or whatever thing. Your mind is also going to them, what's the use of those things and so on. So you can see it's some sort of mental rambling inside your mind. And those things, we normally utter a speech using something called Vitakka vichara in Pali. It's translated in English, it is initial application and the sustained application. Initial application is a bee is coming to a flower, that is the initial application. The sustained application is that bee is gyroting around the flower. Or else you see someone is coming far away and then you understand it on as a person. That is your initial application. That person is coming close by. This person has got a longer hair, so it's a woman, and a short hair, so it's a man, and that sort of thing. That is a sustained application. So using initial application and sustained application, we utter the speech. So now if you are not blaming anyone, even from your mind, then your mind is very calm. Your mind is so much trouble most of the time because you are blaming someone, a person in the office, or maybe a fly, this stupid fly coming around and bothering me or something. So you have this mental rambling from your mind, you are blaming these things. So now, when you have the right speech, what sort of a speech I can utter? Can I say, this cake is fine, it's tasty, or jelly bean is tasty? Now that is coming under wrong speech. If you have right speech, then you can say only 4 things. That it is suffering, and is it the cause of suffering, the cessation of suffering, and path leading to the cessation of suffering. That's all you can say. And Buddha said, if you are compassionate to someone, then that is the only thing you need to tell him. You need to tell that particular person it is suffering, is arising and passing of suffering, and the cessation of suffering. So I can't say this food is yummy or something like that on. It is coming under wrong speech. So either I would say about the 4 noble truths, or otherwise I will keep quiet. So that is the cessation of this, my verbal activities. No initial application, no sustained application, no vitakka vichara. So it's a cessation of that, those thoughts about those speaking. And then you get the second jhana concentration. And from the second jhana concentration, you go into the concentration due to mind. So your mind is sort of very calm at that particular time. And what is helping us to not to utter a speech? You see, it's very difficult for 2 people to not to speak to each other or something, in the meditation session, or in house, or in the office. We need to talk. It's like that. You are nothing if you don't talk, right? You need to have quite a lot, effort not to do that. So let's look at this right effort. The effort is 4-fold. Here a monk rouses his will, makes an effort, steers up energy, exerts his mind, and strives to prevent the arising of unarising, unwholesome mental states. What are the unarising, evil, unwholesome mental states? Those are the sensual thought, ill will thought, and the harming thought. Do you have sensual thought right now? You don't. You don't have ill will thought or harming thought. In other words, you are good at home. But when you go into the street, now you can see beautiful women are coming, beautiful men, beautiful babies, and beautiful clothes and so on. Then you get the sensual thought, ill thought and harming thought. Having understood that, then you are trying to prevent the arising of those sensual thought, ill will thought and the harming thought. That is the first effort. So now you can see this is something before arising, I am trying to prevent. And there is this second effort. He rouses his will, makes an effort, steers up energy, exerts his mind and strives to overcome evil, unwholesome mental states that have arisen. What are the evil, unwholesome mental states that have arisen? That is greed, hate and delusion. Do we have greed all the time? We don't. We don't have hate all the time either. But we do have delusion. Since we do have delusion, then the greed and the hate is coming to be. They come to arise. So having known that I do have greed, hate and delusion, then I am trying to prevent it. So for someone who is wise, might be thinking, how come? Little while ago I said that I am following through the Eightfold Path. So I am going through non-greed, non-hate, non-delusion path. In the first effort, if I am actually having that one, then I am saying I don't want sensual thought, ill will thought and harming thought. Then how can I get greed, hate and delusion? It don't work that way. Let me give you a simple example. Let us say on a rainy day, a muddy water is coming to your garden. And then first day you tolerated it. I don't want it. I don't want this muddy water, but you were sort of lazy that you couldn't fix it. And then the second day also muddy water is coming when it is raining. You tolerate that day. On the third day, when the muddy water is coming, you decided, I'm going to fix this one. So you might go and fix it. But isn't the muddy water that came on the first day and the second day are in your garden? It is there. So that is the muddy water. You have this body, you constructed this body. So that's because of the delusion. Since the delusion is there, then the greed and the hate will arise. So having known that we have greed, hate and delusion, then we are putting effort to overcome those things, evil, unwholesome mental states. And then there is this third effort. He rouses his will, makes an effort, steers up energy, exerts his mind and strives to produce unarisen, wholesome mental states. So, what are the unarisen, wholesome mental states? Here someone is thinking, let me have the faith of the stream enterer. The stream enterer, you know there are 4 stages of sainthood. That is this the Sotapanna stream enterer, once returner, never returner, and Arahant. So this person is thinking, let I become a stream enterer, once return also. So stream enterer, when he is in that state of attainment, that person is not regarding anything in the world as mind. Therefore his mind is expanded. He got a vast mind. And he has got the faith about the Buddha because of that expanded mind. Now you are thinking that I want to have that faith. In other words, I want to become a stream enterer, once return, never return, and so on. So this is something that you do not have, you are trying to produce it. And there's this fourth effort. He rouses his will, makes an effort, steers up energy, exerts his mind and strives to maintain wholesome mental states that have arisen. Not to let them fade away, to bring them to greater growth, to the full perfection of development. So what are the wholesome mental states that have arisen? You see, in the third effort we said that we want to become a stream enterer. So that person is not regarding anything in the world as mind. You got an expanded mind. So in that particular expanded state of mind, one may get confused as well, that person might think this is Nibbana. But these attainments are not Nibbana. So having understood this one, this person also knows that by attaining the first attainment, I go to the second. From the second one, maintaining, I go to the third and so on. So this person wants to maintain these wholesome mental states for the purpose of attaining Nibbana. So he is not going to let them fade away. He wants to let them greater growth to the full perfection of development. So that's the fourth effort. These four efforts are very important. Without it, you can't even learn, you can't even get up from the chair, and so on. And if you sort of understand these things and recalling about this effort, it's good enough to produce the rapture in your body, understanding these four efforts. So now you can see, we got 4 parts from the Eightfold Path, and then they are grouped. So we get the development of body, and with that one you can see the cessation of inhaling and exhaling. That led to the 4th jhana concentration, and then we get the concentration due to desire. And the development of virtue, so here Bhavita Sila in Pali. So your verbal formations will cease, and then you go to the 2nd jhana concentration, and then you get the development of mind, the Bhavita Sila. So now your bodily action cease, your verbal action cease, then what is left? What you left with the mental actions. So now we are working towards that one. So there will be one above right speech and one below right effort over here. So that is right thought and the right concentration. And that is, the called development of mind. From the development of mind, you get the concentration due to effort. It's called Virya Samadhi. The concentration due to effort, you can see we are trying to get rid of certain mental actions, not all, like envy, disparaging, that you will learn today in the next session. So what is helping us to have this concentration due to effort is the right thought and the right concentration. So the right thought is thought of renunciation, thought of non-malevolence, thought of non-harming, which we learn. What is right concentration? Here a monk, aloof from the sensual pleasures, aloof from unskilled state of the mind, enters and abide in the 1st jhana concentration with the initial application and the sustained application. What is the initial application and sustained application in this case? Is the thought of renunciation, thought of non-malevolence, thought of non-harming. That is right thought. So in other words, I am concentrating around the right thought so that I get the right concentration. So this right concentration, Buddha is telling in the Satipatthana Sutra that it has 4 things: the 1st jhana, 2nd jhana, 3rd jhana, and the 4th jhana concentrations. So here we are actually getting rid of certain mental actions. So now you can see we got 6 parts from the Eightfold Path, and then we got the development of body that led to the cessation of your bodily actions and go into the 4th jhana concentration, and then you got the concentration due to desire, Chanda Samadhi, and the development of virtue, and then your verbal actions would cease, and then you get the 2nd jhana concentration. With the 2nd jhana concentration, you get the concentration due to mind. And then the development of mind, and that led to the concentration due to this effort, Virya Samadhi. So bodily action ceased, verbal action ceased, and certain mental actions ceased over here. Now there will be one above and a one in between right effort and right concentration. So that is called development of wisdom. That is right view, right mindfulness. And this leads to concentration due to investigation. Here we get rid of the greed, hate and delusion altogether. You have the complete cessation of your mental actions. So having understood impermanent nature, suffering nature, you reach that state. So now you can see your physical actions, the verbal actions, and all the mental actions cease by following this one. So now we have the Eightfold Path. Now, what is helping the right view? It's the right mindfulness. You see, the right view, from the right view we get the right mindfulness. From the right mindfulness we are going back the right view because it's helping it. It is actually telling to the right view that is it possible to construct the consciousness which is always dying? It's reminding so that you get the right view. So, in a nutshell, right mindfulness is the such is form, such is the arising phenomena of form, such is the passing away phenomena. That is the arising and passing away, which we will learn in a little while with the concentration discourse. So in the Satipatthana Sutta, Buddha is explaining this one in a very lengthy way. That is this mindfulness regarding body, mindfulness regarding feeling, mindfulness regarding thought, mindfulness regarding the doctrine. So those are the 4 foundations of mindfulness. So now you can see we got the complete eightfold path from right view to right concentration. As we said, right thought proceeds from the right view. Having understood that, the suffering and the arising phenomena of suffering as the craving, you decided to give up. So that is thought of renunciation. So we came to the right thought. And so I am following the non-greed, non-hate, non-delusion path. So I gave up things that are in the greed path. That is lying. So I come to the right speech. So again I am following through the non-greed path. It is in the greed path that we do have stealing. So since I am following the non-greed path, I gave up stealing. So I come to right action. So in other words, right thought proceeds from the right view. Right speech proceeds from the right thought. Right action proceeds from the right speech. Similarly, you can see we are coming down. Right mindfulness proceeds from the right effort. And the right concentration proceeds from the right mindfulness. Right knowledge proceeds from the right concentration. Right liberation proceeds from the right knowledge. So, a person, an arahant, for that person there are 10 things. That includes right knowledge and the right liberation. The one following the Eightfold Path, like you have 8 things from the right view to right concentration. So there are these 4 meditations, development of the body, and then you get the concentration due to desire, the bodily action cease, development of the virtue, you get the concentration due to mind, and then your verbal action ceased, development of mind, some parts of mental action ceased over here with the concentration due to effort, and the development of wisdom, then all the mental actions ceased and you get the concentration due to investigation. So then right view is very important, isn't it? Without it, we won't get anything down below over here. So the best discourse to understand this Eightfold Path is called the Mahachattārisika Sutra, the Great 40 Discourse in middle-length sayings. And in that discourse, Buddha is explaining wrong view first, before the right view. What is the wrong view? A person is thinking, there is no father, there is no mother, there is no result of sacrifice, there is no other worlds, there aren't any recluses or Brahmins who know, having known, proclaim about this world and the world beyond. So this is completely a lazy person's talk. You see, when the lazy person was not studying, playing games and so on, that person's mother taught that person a sort of a lesson. The lesson is taking by the ear, taking to the street and pointing at someone who is sweeping the floor, cleaning up the street. Son, if you do not learn, and that's where you are going to end up with. And then mother also said something. Remember that uncle who is going in that Benz car with tie and coat and so on, having a comfortable life? You can be someone like him if you study. So then this lazy person started studying, and having studied, he is doing a job, earning money. Now he is now bringing beer bottles, whiskey and so on, to his house and having some bites, and he is enjoying this one. This person's mother is wearing white clothes, going to the temple, doing meditation and so on. And to that mother, this person is saying, Mom, I did what you asked me to do. No, there is no other world and so on. Just enjoy our life over here. You see, if this person admit that there is another world, then he has to do something about it. When he was suffering, not studying, and then when the mother is pointing out, you can become, like that person going in the Benz car, that he took that one, right? So if there is another world, then you need to put some effort, do some charity or do good things so that you can have a better life after that. So this person is lazy, that this person does not want to admit it, want to deny. So therefore he can have, enjoy whatever thing it is there. So opposed to this wrong view, there is this right view. One is mundane, one is supramundane. What is the mundane right view? The mundane right view is that this person is now thinking, yes, there is this father, there is mother, because that person had a teacher. If there is a teacher, then you can see that there is this father, there is mother, and also there are these recluses and Brahmin who proclaim about the other worlds, having known. So, because of this right view, you do charity today. You give Buddhist monks alms, food, and so on. If you do not have this one, this right view, you would not do that one. Why would I give? Donate and do charity. If there is no other world, after death, I'll go down underneath over here. I can steal, I can do any bad things and enjoy while I'm here. Since you believe, there is other world and so on, then you sort of do this. Because of that right view, you do charity and so on. But Buddha is saying, the sun is with cankers, with taints. Because of this right view, you will be born. But Buddha is advising not to be afraid of, doing these good things to have attaining this still state of the mind, because unless you do those things, then your next life would be bad. So, and then Buddha is explaining the right view, that is the noble right view, and it is this cankerless right view. And here, in Pali, it is actually, we are talking about Sammaditi. I will say the English version here. Transcended, factor of path, the wisdom, faculty of wisdom, the power of wisdom, antithesis of qualities as a factor of awaken, the wisdom of a person whose mind is without effluent, whose mind is noble, who is fully possessed of the noble path, one developing the noble path. So there are four things. Whose mind is noble? Whose mind is noble means that we are talking about person who is attaining the, let us say, first attainment, extreme interval. And that particular person, at that particular stage, whatever the wisdom he has got, or the faculty of wisdom, or the power of wisdom, and those are it's the wisdom we are talking about. The right view is a wisdom. Or whose mind is without effluent means, we normally, when we see something, let's say apple tree or something, then you probably get that song, an apple a day, keeps the doctor away and so on. Or maybe you see a coconut tree, you normally get an essay that coconut is, I can eat them, I can use these wood pieces to construct a house or something. So many things are coming up. What is inside this story? The story is how it is helping me to have my life. For the Arahant, he is in the cankerless state. That particular person does not have this, if he hasn't got any affluence, then he doesn't have that particular story. And then who is fully possessed of the noble path? That means you are following the noble eightfold path, then you get the entry, the stream entry and then the fruit. There are two things. So there is this stream entry, and that is the path, and then you have this wisdom. What is the wisdom inside that particular path? Or maybe you are one developing the noble path, that you are developing the eightfold path. Maybe in a meditation when you are doing, all of a sudden you get, yes, what Buddha said is right. It's because of the craving we get this suffering. Or because of this, the existence, the birth come to be. And at that particular time, whatever you have wisdom, that is the noble wisdom, that is the noble right view. And because of this right view, you won't be born. There aren't any taints. So you won't be born. And that is the noble, that is the wisdom you are going to develop within these 4 days. That is what is your aim, to have the noble right view. So now you can see this right view is very important. It is the suffering and the cause of suffering and path leading to the cessation of suffering. So that let us look at the Four Noble Truths in that sense to understand it. And here is first Buddha is explaining the birth is suffering, aging is suffering, death is suffering, sorrow, lamentation, pain, sadness and distress are suffering. Union with what is displeasing is suffering, separation from what is pleasing is suffering, not getting what one wants is suffering. In short, the 5 aggregates of grasping are suffering. So here he says, now for you to understand the Four Noble Truths, you need to understand the First Noble Truth. To understand the First Noble Truth, you need to look at the component of the First Noble Truth, that is birth is suffering, aging is suffering and so on. So let us look at those minute details. At what months is the birth? In whatever beings, whatever group of beings, there is birth, coming to be, coming forth, the appearance of the aggregates, the acquisition of the sense bases, that month is called birth. Whatever group of beings, there is birth. Where would we be born? We will be born in hell, animal realm, plane of departed, the human world, the divine world and the Brahma world. Those are the planes for you to exist. So when you look at the hell, where is the hell? You see some people, husband and wife fighting each other. One is saying this is the hell. Although they are saying this is the hell, this is the human world, is not the hell. But hell-like condition occurred to that particular person at home. Well, some people are saying we were digging and then we heard some sort of a noise coming underneath from the earth. And so the hell is underneath. There is no hell on this planet earth. So where are the hells? The hells are those, planets, Mars, Jupiter and so on. Americans have sent a machine to Mars, and it is not easy to find from those machines. I can travel by mind-made body. I saw for the first time that particular machine on Mars, and there was nothing to see in that one. It's like a bicycle handle, dust is getting accumulated and so on. And I went there with Sahampati Mahabrahma. Sahampati Mahabrahma is who is the one who invited Buddha to preach Dhamma. He is in Akanita Brahma realm. He is a Brahma. So I asked him whether there is a hell in this planet. He said yes, and he took me to that place. It's not easy for a machine to find it. There are craters on those things, and those machines won't be able to reach that one, but they are getting closer little by little. A few years ago, they took a photo. If you type in Google unusual hole in the Mars, then you would see a picture and some sort of opening like a well type thing. And normally you can see those walls in a well, but here you can see just an opening over there. Those days they were actually saying, and that's the place the water is there. That's the place those living beings are there. They are right. That is the hell. The living beings are there. On those planets you can't actually live on the top because it's very hot or very cold, or the sun's radiations is very high. So they are underneath. They discover water in Mars, and they discover water in Pluto as well. So Pluto has got 19 hells. Jupiter is really big. It has got 50 moons. It has got 70 hells in it. So those are the hells. There is this discourse called Bala Pandita Sutta, the wise and fool discourse. In that discourse, Buddha is saying that person having done these bad things like killing, stealing and so on, that person is going to be born in hell after death. And then there is this Venerable Moggallana, one of the chief disciples of the Buddha, and that Venerable Moggallana saying, in one of his past births, he was one of the divine being, evil one, and so he sort of hurt one of the chief disciple of a previous former Buddha, and that person was bleeding because he took a form of a child and sort of used a stone, felt a stone, and hit the other monk. And then Buddha was going in front, and Buddha looked back, and Buddha said that you have exceeded your limit. And by that time, this Venerable Moggallana's previous birth, he passed away. He was Dusing Mara. He passed away from that particular form and then born in hell. And he was explaining how much suffering he had. He had a human like a body, and he got a head like a fish. And when he was born, they put an iron rod inside his body, and it lasted 1,000 years. And then when it was falling, and they put another iron rod, and how much suffering he had, the Venerable Moggallana was explaining using his past birth. I have been born in hell as well. 40 births backward, I was born in hell. I lived there 2,100 years. Why I went there? Because the birth before that one, I killed living beings. That those days people are asking for fresh meat. So in my garden I have those goats and cows bound by these ropes. They are coming and saying, give me a sort of piece from that particular place. While the animal is living, I chop off parts of this animal and give it to that person selling it. Having done this bad conduct, after death I was born in hell. When I was born in hell, the living beings in hell grabbed hold of me, and this, the dentist chair. So there's some sort of a chair over there, and two people hold my two arms and let me lie down in that particular chair. And that machine we have got to prune these trees two handles and sort of two blades. This one has got many gadgets in it. So there was a clip. So they put the clip to my hand, and that clip was locked with using a screw. And then there were some holes in this clip. They put some screws to my flesh, and then they squeezed this handle, and then they started rotating it. So it was taking my flesh out. It was very painful. I contemplated this on going to the 7th jhana concentration. That's the best place to contemplate about your past births. And I could see that my hands are sort of bound, holding by those two persons, but my legs are loose. It's coming towards me. And then I fainted because of the pain. And so they stopped punishing that day. There's no point if someone is, unconscious to punish him. So next day also, they grab hold of me again. Then there is some sort of a chemical like a sulfuric acid over here. Sulfuric acid, if you put into your hand, it's going looking for the water. So this chemical is so stronger than that one. They attach to that particular clip and, put into my hand to the wounded place. And so it's burning. Just imagine if you have a wound and they are putting surgical spirits to that one. It is so much painful, isn't it? So just imagine when they put acid, how it is. So I got fainted again. And then next day also, then they grab hold of me. That machine has got two parts. They attach those two parts to two sides of that wound, to the left and to the right. And then they squeeze the handle, and then handle started separating. This particular, the clip started separating. They remove my flesh like you are removing a blouse. Isn't that the one I did to those animals? While they were living, I chop off and remove the flesh, isn't it? So if I do that one, then my consciousness like it. So then I will be born in such a place. So now I have only the bone over here. It is not only me subject to this punishment. There were others. My left hand, the other person's right hand. They bound it by a rope and let's say some sort of rail track or cart track over here. So we two are on the two sides. They sent some sort of a cart, and this was broken. I didn't have my hand after that one. So I attached some sort of metal thing to that one. So my punishments are now over. So then they gave me a job. You see, there are jobs in the hell as well. If you are fed up doing your job over here, don't think about going to hell and doing the job. That job is so difficult. I'll tell you what I did. Although these beings are living underneath, there are like bunkers over here. They do have these buildings underneath, planet's crust. So I was working in a 3-story building. I am on the first floor, ground floor. There was this pond of acid over there, and there was a big chain. What that big chain near me is doing, on the 3rd floor, someone was mounted on an iron plate, and it's hot. This person is standing on it, and then the chain is separating these two plates. Now his two legs are separating with it as well. What is underneath is the fire. So this person is struggling to maintain the posture, not to, fall from that particular position. And then, now he's going to fall into that fire, and he's getting burnt. And then the next chamber opens. So now this one is burning, and there is an airflow. So now it's like a Bunsen burner. He is getting burnt more and more. And then the next one is open. That's where I am. By that time, there are only bones, no flesh or anything left. And those bones supposed to fall into that acid pond. but because of the wind, some of those pieces are getting into the edge of the pond. So I got a rake. My job is to use the rake and put those bones inside this acid pond. So then they will vanish as well. When I look right side, I can see an array of ponds. Those killing machines are continuing over there. Now you can see, so the birth in hell is suffering. Even the jobs are suffering. So I can explain more and more about those hells, but one is good enough. So let's look at, so now you can see the birth in hell is suffering. Let us look at the birth in the animal realm. You know, the animals are suffering. They are subject to this cold, heat, hunger and thirst. Is that the suffering over there? It's quite a lot, because we are also suffering from all those four. There's quite a lot more than that one. It is often killing, in the animal realm. A mouse is there, a cat is coming and eating it, killing it. Not only that one, by the time this, mouse is in the dying moment, this one is playing with the body as well. And even the cat is afraid. Someone outside is coming to your house and the cat is going and hiding underneath the car. So even the dog in your house is scared. It is actually sleeping and open the eyes and then barking. So it's frightened. A deer is there, a lion is coming and killing it. It's often killing. We all have been born as animals many, many times. Many, many thousand, million and billion times. So, for you to understand the suffering of this animal kingdom, you need to wear their shoes. You have this particular chances to understand this one. Well, let us say that you are traveling here, maybe 12 o'clock midnight, you missed the bus. So now you are coming home walking, and then someone is coming behind you making a noise, tokos and coming in. And what do you think? This person might kill me, or this person can take my purse. So you are afraid that this person will harm you or rape me or something like that. So that is suffering in the animal realm, often killing. So that with that fear, that animals are living all the time. So the birth in hell is suffering, birth in animal realm is suffering. And let's look at the plane of departed. Sometimes you call spirits. So I saw, it's called preta in Pali. I saw one person from the plane of departed. That person is a woman, tall like this building over here to the ceiling. That lady's face is like, the human size head. Her belly is about 1.5 meters wide. Just imagine small mouth and big belly, and very tall person, very difficult for that person to even to walk. What is the food that they are getting? You see, when you are actually going to the plane of departed, you're thinking, I'm going to a very good place sort of scenario. But in that place, you don't have food. The food is when you pass merits to those people who have passed away, and those merits become the food for them. You might be confused, how can a merit be used as a food? Just take a simple example. You have a mouth, you have a stomach, sometimes you have food on the table, but you can't eat. because of the stress or something, your mind is not there, you can't eat. If someone is coming and, fixing your mind, it's okay, don't worry and so on, then you can sort of eat, right? So likewise, when you pass the merits, so it becomes the ground for them to eat. So their mind getting sort of fixed, so that they can consume moisture or whatever thing it is, because the mind is now sort of settled. So that's how it's becoming food. So they are suffering. They live 800 years and so on, and they don't have food. So you can see the birth in hell, animal realm, and the plane of departed. All three planes, it's suffering. And now take the human world. The human beings in the human world, they think they are having a good time. Are we having a good time? You see, to come into the human world, you need to go to mother's womb. Is the mother's womb a good place to be? I would say it's a canal of urine and excrement. You see, when you are in mind-made body, you can go out and come back from this thing, and then at that particular time you can smell the urine and excrement as well. Some people getting confused. Some people think, and this is especially who studying this medicine, they think sort of this is a good place. They are saying that because it's pure in the sense there is no bacteria. Well, that can be, there is no bacteria, but can that be a good place? You see, there is no even light in that place. Just imagine you are in a sort of a dark room. Just to understand this, the nature. You see, normally you are saying to your child, don't touch those dirt, they are soil and things, they dirt. And your hand, your finger, you are thinking it's such a good thing, right? Just take a blade and cut a small piece of your skin and put into that one, and then ask someone to pick up, touch. That person would be touching those soil without any problem, but that person won't touch your small part of your finger. So if you have a wisdom up to that level, you can understand underneath this skin, this body, you can't have a good place. So then you are in this canal of urine and excrement. So for 8 months, 10 months, dark place, not even sunlight over there. And then you are coming out. When you are coming out, are you smiling? No, you are crying. If this is a world is a good place, why do you cry? You should be coming happily, smiling. I'm coming to a good place. So now, one person was telling me that one mother, when the baby was born, and she got a wisdom, and she was thinking, what a disgusting thing that I have produced. When the baby was given, and she asked the nurse to please wash the baby and give it to me. So you see, when the baby is washed, that then you, let's say you are the baby, you might be thinking, oh, now it is fine, no, dirts are gone. But where is the dirt? It is inside your body. You have inside, you have excrement and urine. We are like the toilet, walking toilet. We are going to a meeting and a gathering with excrement and urine hanging inside our body. And then some people die at the time of birth. Some people have this jaundice and so on. Let us say you manage to live, then you are hungry. Then if your mother is feeding you, then it's okay. Otherwise you are hungry. And then you pass urine and excrement, and then you are crying. If your mother is feeding you, mother is cleaning you, then it is okay. Otherwise, you are with the excrement and urine. around your body. And then when you become 4 years old or so, your mother would be giving you a bag, son or daughter, go to school. Are you saying, yeah, mom, I'm really happy, bye, and go? You are crying. You are saying, mom, you should come with me, should be coming with me to the school. Why? Because your consciousness is aware. What happened to you when you went to school in last birth and so on? It is aware. You know what is happening? They poke with pencils, pens, and pull you, push you, and so on. Bullying and harassment. That is what is there in the school. And I can recall your, how when you were small, how you were suffering. I can remember when my father was a bit late to pick me up from the school, then there was this chubby boy coming around me. So I was running around the building to escape from him. Think about your ones as well. And in Australia, one European girl jumped out of the building because of the people in the class, are doing this bullying and harassment to her. It's everywhere. It's in the office, it's in your house, it's everywhere. So let us say you manage to live 18 years or so. I saw one boy in Sri Lanka. The others went to sleep. He took a basin and put water to the basin and put his legs to the basin, and he's studying. And if you study and if you pass the exam, it's okay, otherwise it is also suffering. Let us say you manage to pass the exam, then there is another problem. If you are getting a job, then it is okay, otherwise it is suffering. Let us say you manage to get a job, then you don't normally get the job. Go to the job from your house, then probably you have to a boarding school, rent a house or something, far away place. So when you are going there, you are thinking, oh, I got a job now, it's really good. It's like that, mother was telling that, the person who is going in the Benz car, that uncle, that you will be someone like that one. So when you go to work, then they are saying, do this, do that, otherwise we will fire you, and so on. It's okay, I'm going to get my salary now. That's what you are actually thinking. I'm going to have a happy life. And then when you are going to eat, you are not going to get good food from, those places, boarding houses. And your mother was actually feeding you very well when you were at home. You are thinking that the time that I was with my mother was better than this one. So then you actually pay your bills, gas bill, electricity bill, rent, and so on. And having paid that one, probably you bought a shirt or gown or whatever thing, depending on the person. And you look at, is there anything left? There's nothing left. The time that I was having with my mom was better than this one. And then probably you learn more or earn more by going to a good job. Now you have something. Now you are afraid because, the robbers can come and steal my money. So you put security, ADT security, and so on. Or you are afraid the taxman will come and take my money. So you've got another problem. Now you think, well, my problem is I don't have a house. Let me buy a house or construct a house. When you construct a house, you can see those insects will damage the house as well. And then it's another trouble. And then you think that my problem is I don't have a wife. I don't have a husband. So you find a husband or wife. But they don't last, do they? Because some die, and some pass away. And then the people who have, got those things, they know whether this is the reality. You think I'm alone, so if I get a husband or wife, then my problem will be solved. But you get more trouble with that life. And then you think my problem is that we don't have babies. I don't have a baby. Some people coming to me and telling this one. They come here to do the meditation and attain Nibbana. Now they say we don't have, our problem is we don't have a baby. So you take an injection or something and then get a baby. Will that fix your problem? Now you got another problem. You can't even sleep at night time. Every 2 hours you need to feed, the crying and all those things, and, touching the excrement, urine, cleaning the baby. Is that a fun? It is not a fun. And you're normally thinking, when this baby is sort of, standing on her own feet or on his own feet, then I am fine. Is it so? The baby may be 18 years old, but for the mother still the baby. Sometimes because of this 18-year-old baby, mother can't even sleep. Just imagine someone here in Melbourne going, 2 hours, getting early in the morning, getting up and going in a train or somewhere, 2 hours, and then coming back home, doing the work, coming back home. Maybe 8 o'clock you are at home after the work. And then you cook. And then you think, I will, my happiness is sleeping. So let me go and sleep. And you check your watch and then you see it is 10 o'clock. Normally my baby, 18-year-old baby, is at home by this time. What happened to him today? You have a mobile phone, you call him. He has gone to the uni. He couldn't finish his assignment. So he is saying, Mom, I can't come. It may be 12 o'clock that I will come home. So mom is now sleeping on the chair. Because mom is afraid, the people, children are driving these days. If that person get into accident or something, who is there for him to call? I should be there. And until midnight come, and she calls again. And then that this boy is saying, Mom, I can't come. I couldn't finish this assignment. I have to give it before 9 o'clock. So tomorrow. So please you go and sleep. I can't come. So you can't sleep because of the 18-year-old baby. Now the 18-year-old baby is now 40 years old. Now that person got a baby as well. Now what do? You look after the baby's baby. You're back bended. You are looking after the baby. Sometimes you can't go to these meditation sessions because your 40 years old baby is now actually, coming home, Mom, look after my baby, and he's going to work, and then you are looking after the baby. Is there fun in cleaning, excrement, urine, washing nappies and so on? It's not. So that is the human life. Just take one day of this particular person's life, the happy person, you're thinking. He takes something in a bag in his hand and get into the train or something and then go to work. Is the work a good place? Well, some people are saying that the work is the best place because my house is so bad, But nobody is giving you a job unless there is a problem. You are a problem solver. Since there are problems in the world, you are given, job. Solve this particular one. If you can't solve, they will fire you. So then you take something, just take an example of a doctor. Doctor may be going to the office, to the hospital. As soon as that person goes there, then, nurse is coming and then, saying this particular person has come and bleeding, I can't stop it, please come. So you attend to that one. Or maybe someone's heart stopped, you pumping and so on. So at the end of the day, you are tired. Even in the normal office, how many people are there to push you out of the office? Bullying and harassment is also there. Various reasons. There are certain people, performance and so on, and so much problem. Sometimes the government is also saying, we are going to cut these jobs. So something is going inside in your body at that particular time, isn't it? well, if I don't have a job, how can I feed my children? How can I pay the mortgage and so on? And that's the life we are living in. So, end of the day, maybe you take something, vegetables or something, to your bag, and you are coming home and then you are going to cook it. And so maybe 8 o'clock you came home and you have a kitchen. Now these days we have made up our kitchen in various ways, isn't it? The gas cookers, electric cookers, and the one that glass top underneath these things. So you are thinking, well, my one is better than my neighbor's. He got this type, I got this type. He is eating from the square type table, I am eating round table. He is sitting down on this chair, I am sitting down on this chair. He is eating from this sort of plate, I am eating from this sort of plate. But can you eat any of those things? You can't. You can eat only the food that you got onto the plate. But around that, you have spent quite a lot of money and things to build up those things, isn't it? And just imagine a beggar. Beggar would be begging, now give me some food, and then he will eat and throw out those pieces of paper and so on. And we all are getting happiness from here to here, from the mouth and to the throat over here. So that's the happiness. And for that happiness you work 10 hours or so, but this one is lasting 10 minutes or so. It is not proportional. Now you think the happiness for me is to sleep. And then for that place also we have made up, you got king bed, queen bed and so on. But you are sleeping on just 5 or 6 inches wide, 5 or 6 feet, lengthy space. The rest of the bed is in your mind. Just imagine you are here, you are living only about 2 or 3 feet square over here, but the rest of the whole size is in your mind. So you are trying to sleep into one side. Can you sleep? No, even in the chair you can see your legs are going there, you stretch your leg and so on. Change the posture. Why do we change our postures? Because it's suffering. The Pitakapadesa says, if you do not contemplate why we change our postures, then you would not understand the suffering. Because, you see, when we sit down, it's painful, so we stand up. When you walk, it is suffering, so we sit down. We change postures all the time because it's suffering. Think about it. So it is, you can see, we have this suffering. And in the morning, the discharges have come out. So you are going to clean up those things. Some people I have seen going to the toilet with a magazine in their hand, because that job is also difficult. Sometimes we feel like sort of laughing about those things. But for a dog, this constipation occurs. That is the end of that particular, life for that dog. They die because of this constipation. When people are old, they either pass excrement or they pass excrement on the bed itself. So there is this suffering. So what is the happiness? Next moment you will be taking the bag and going to the work. That's what you do. So what is the happiness? From here, from your mouth to this throat over here. That's all. That is 10 minutes. And I'll tell you, that is your happiness. Why would I say that? You see, if someone is retiring from your office, what do you say? Let's go for lunch. And you are inviting someone, come to our house for dinner. Come to our house for lunch. So people know that is the happiness. And for that one, that's why you came to this world, for the food. Although we were not aware of this one until Buddha is telling these things. And now it's only 10 minutes over here, but you work 10 hours 12 hours for that particular happiness. It's not proportional. So the human world is suffering. So birth in hell, animal realm, the plane of departed, and the human world, all are suffering. And then let's look at the divine world. Where are the divine worlds? I said where the hells are. You know, there is this South Pole on Earth, there is North Pole on Earth, and that defines an axis. Extend that axis toward the sky, and far away to the right side, there is this first divine world, Chatur Maharajika, 4 guardian gods, and then the Tautinsa, the 32 plane, and then there is this the Yama, and so on. So it's like a spiral shape. And then if you go in that axis further and further, the Akanita Brahma realm is also there. So it's in a different axis to those hells are. So you might have heard that there was a war in the divine worlds. There's a Buddha's discourse about it. So if there is war, then you can see there is suffering. I can tell you, my 17 births, from this on to backward, 17 births, I was there in the divine world. When I was born there, I was drinking alcohol. The drinking alcohol means that it is that consuming alcohol, in a sense that there is this something called salmal in Sri Lanka. I take a barrel, fill the half with the water and the rest with these flowers, sunflower, and then close the lid. Next day morning I come and then I put my head, open the lid and put my head over there. From those fragrance, that smell, I can get drunk. So, if the divine worlds are so pleasurable, why would I take this alcohol and getting drunk? There are suffering over there. What is the difference and what is the similarity between human world and the divine world? I take the similarity first. In the human world, that we do have houses, they do have houses as well. Their houses are bigger and beautiful than ours. We do have roads, they do have roads. They are beautiful and bigger and nicer. We do have vehicles, they do have vehicles. They have 3 types of vehicles. One is like your car, few people can go. And another one is like a bus. You know, all the people here can go. And they do have spaceships as well. They have rooms and all those things, spaceships. They have space stations. They are very well developed compared to ours. So, those are the type of vehicles. And then we do have this theme parks. They do have those ones as well. We have jobs. They do have jobs. Before I was contemplating about my past births, about divine worlds, I was thinking when I go to divine world, it will be a really happy place and I live without doing anything. It's not like that. You have to do a job. And then, not only that, we have envy. They have envy as well. Now you get the picture. So what's the difference? The difference is that you are living only for 80 years or so. In the first divine realm, they live 10 million years. From the earth's lifespan, they live 10 million years. Next one, 36 million years. And it goes up and up. And then, the 6th one, they live 8 billion years. Long time. Now here, if you buy a land or something, and you let it be there for, few years, then you can see the price goes up. And then you sell, you get some sort of a gain and you are becoming happy. Likewise in those worlds also. Because they are living for a long time and they get the sort of happiness. So that's the difference. So you can see the divine worlds are. So divine beings are also suffering. So the birth in hell, animal realm, plane of departed, human world, and the divine world. Wherever the birth, it is suffering. Now let us take the Brahma world. Let me take an example of the Abhasara Brahma world. It's a second jhana plane. Those living beings over there, they live from delight. You know what happens then if you are not happy, no delight? Then you don't get it's like that you have not eaten, isn't it? Because of the rapture, it's become the food. So no rapture means you don't have the food. So the Brahma world, again you can see the birth over there, it's suffering. So then the hell, animal realm, plane of departed, and after the Brahma world, wherever it is birth, it is suffering. So that is what is meant. Whatever group of beings there is birth, there is suffering. We still haven't finished the birth path. And coming forth, appearance of aggregates, that is matter, feeling, perception, volitional formation and consciousness. The acquisition of sense bases. The acquisition of sense bases, how it is suffering. I did not understand this one at once. It took about 6 months for me to understand this. How come when you get the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and the mind, you are suffering? One day I heard a Buddhist monk, a younger person, that he lost his eyesight. Not because of accident or anything, because of the sickness. So next day when I was meditating, I was thinking, that can happen to me as well. You know, I'm just meditating, closing my eyes. When I open, I may not see anything. And then it's really frightened me. I was thinking, how can I get out of this room? How can I go to the toilet? How can I cross the road? How can I drive a vehicle? A fear came to my mind as well. We get eye, that is true, but it's an impermanent eye. Impermanent ear, impermanent nose, impermanent tongue and body. I had a really good example to understand this one. My father, when he was 82 years old, he could not see. He can see some sort of a shadow type thing. He could not hear. I have to yell at him for him to hear something. He could not smell. You know, those days when when they are 82 and so on, the excrement urine they pass on the bed. Unless we see that and we clean it up, that person does not have any idea. And he was not even drinking water. He was saying it's not tasty. And then he could not feel his body either. That, maybe insect bites and so on there, but he does not know by the time of biting, then he sees something has happened over here. He could not remember that. He could remember one incident when he was young. And if I ask him, did you eat? Then he is asking my mom, did I eat? So his eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind all gone. So I was thinking, if that happens to him, it's justifiable for him, then it is for me as well. I will get those things before him. So this is this, birth, acquisition of sense bases. We get impermanent ear, impermanent eye and so on. So that is the birth we were discussing. And then aging. And whatever group of beings, there is aging. Decrepitude, broken teeth, grey hair, wrinkled skin, shrinking with age, decay of sense faculties. That one is called aging. We all are subject to aging, isn't it? Now even grandmother sort of know about it very well. She is not spending much time in front of a mirror because she remember how she was beautiful when she was a baby, when she was, young and so on. Not only the grandmother knows about it. I saw a 4-year-old boy who was playing outside. All of a sudden stopped the playing, went inside and showing his hand to the mom. The mom, the hand, beautiful skin before, now there was some sort of patch coming up in his hand. So even that 4-year-old boy noticed that aging. So you are in between that 4-year-old person and the grandmother. We are all subject to aging. And then the sickness. Then the Buddha was talking about 48 kind of sickness in Girimananda Sutta. Eye problem, ear problem, nose problem, tongue problem, heart, kidney, liver, and all those, cancer, and so on. And then this, again, passing of urine, excrement, and the hunger, thirst, all those are sicknesses. 48 Buddha was mentioning. And Buddha said in the future, there are a lot more than that one. And we won't even have names for the sicknesses. Actually, we have reached that stage already. Some people are coming to me and saying, I have this particular problem. I went to every possible doctor. They have done every scan and so on. They are saying, nothing wrong. But the sickness is there. But they can't find it, detect it. So we don't have name because of that one. So if you see someone, sick, cancer or heart, or going to a hospital and you saw that one, when you come back, don't switch on the TV. You think that I will get the same sickness. My body is of the same nature, so I will get that sickness. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe next birth. That's how you should be thinking. And then the death. And what is death? Whatever group of beings there is passing away. A removal, cutting off, disappearance, death, dying. And ending, a cutting off the aggregates, a discarding of the body. That monkey is called death. And that is the place where we are going to start our meditation. And all of things that I was mentioning, they are part of meditation. But this one, we focus very heavily on this death path. What Buddha said is that having seen a dead body, 2 or 3 days pass, I can show you that sort of dead body over here. 2 or 3 days pass, the festering nature, the blue colored. Having seen this one, you think, my body is of the same nature. I have not escaped from this one. It will become like that one. And then Buddha is asking you to contemplate the arising and passing away phenomena of this dead body. So this that part we will do, this arising and passing away phenomena of dead bodies. So you have your father, mother, whoever, or maybe grandfather, grandmother who passed away before. Then you have visited that house or that place, funeral house. So now you visit from your mind. And then you leave your body. Now what Buddha said is, your body is of the same nature. It will become like that one. So taking that one, so lie down next to that particular body, thinking that you are dead. You don't need to think that my eye is like that one, ear is like that one, so on. So just let it be there. And don't bury it, don't cremate it. Let it be there for 7 days or so. What will happen? You see, we have 9 holes in our body. We have 2 for the eyes, 2 for the nose, we have 2 holes. 1 for the mouth, that's the 5th one. 2 for the ears. And then the place you are passing excrement and the urine. What will happen to those places? Just imagine in front of here in the stage, there is a naked body, dead body. So places where urine and excrement, those things will come out. And in my meditation, I saw this particular part, the insect sort of eaten, and a worm coming out of the nose, going inside the mouth, and a worm coming out of the mouth, going inside the nose. At that time, my mind became expanded. What a disgusting thing! And there I was in the mind-made body, and then I could. My got expanded mind. Then I use the concentration meditation for doing this meditation part. So the rising and passing away phenomena. So now what we have done so far is that we look at out of this 12 parts of the suffering, that birth, aging, sickness and death. So we got to go for another 8. So what is going to happen to us after death? Are we going to be born at once, or are we sort of waiting in a sort of a mind-made body? The answer is both. You know, most of the human beings living here today, out of that one, very small proportion of that will come back to as human beings. Well, you might be actually wondering, in that case, why, the human population is increasing, but you did not factor how many living beings are there in the divine worlds. There are quite a lot compared to human world. So they are also coming here. So out of the small proportion that come into the human world as human beings, out of that one, for very small proportion can be born as a human being at once. That means you die today, then you be born somewhere as a human being. It's a very rare chance. Just imagine, you have a house, and your house is broken today because of a tsunami, earthquake or whatever. And then what is the chance that you would get another house in an area appealing to you? Suitable house. The probability is 0, isn't it? But there are, at once you don't get it. So you will be on street. So, but if you have money, you may be going to a hotel and waiting, and then looking for another house and so on. So, but there are some people who got this particular chance. For example, a king might have one palace and got another palace. One is broken, he is going to the next one. I am not saying that the king will be born. What I am saying is there are living beings with such skill states or merits, therefore they can actually go and be born. So what happened to the rest? The majority. They are in a mind-made body. We have 3 bodies. Right over here we have 3 bodies. This gross body, and you do have mind-made body, and then you have perception-born body. The mind-made body can't sort of eat. It doesn't have a digestive system. It's perfect in eye, ear, nose, tongue, body sort of scenario. But we don't have a mind-made body, doesn't have a digestive system. When you have one body, we don't talk about the other one. For example, from milk you make curd. For the curd you are not saying it's milk. From curd you make ghee, butter. For the butter or ghee you are not saying it's curd. So it's a one form and it's sort of transforming in a way. So the mind-made body can't eat. It's like a water tank. Let us say the water is coming there to the tank before, like you are earning money and then you have the money in the bank. And you are fired from the job and there are no more money coming in. What you have in the bank is there. Like a water tank, water was coming and it is there, no more water coming in. So this person is living in a mind-made body. I can tell you my birth before the last one. I was in Anuradhapura, Sri Lanka, and I could see my backside. How can I see my backside? Because I am in the mind-made body looking at the body. My problem is why this body is not getting up. I am confused. I am confused because, that coming here to the meditation session, you were telling to your parents or friends, I will go to this meditation session and come back. But do you know whether you can do that? You might die over here. You might die on the street. But our belief is that I can go home. Likewise, that was it. I was thinking, when I put the right leg forward, I can put the left leg. But before I put the left leg, I am dead. I could see some people coming and, sort of lifting up the body, and they cry, and that is the time I realized that I am dead. By the time of death, you do not even know that you have died. So, confused. And then this body is taken to the house, and then I had a sort of 15-year-old boy who was very sad. People are coming to the house, crying and so on. Now, at the end of the day, I see that they are not the one sad, that I am the one sad. Because they eat, I can't eat. Mind-made body can't eat. Just imagine, you can eat from this body and mind-made body, both. You can't eat from the mind-made body. There's no digestive system. So, how many meals you are eating for a day? You would normally say 3. But you take tea and so on, biscuits, so maybe you are eating 6 times. Just imagine for 1 or 2 hours, you couldn't eat your lunch. Then you have a problem, isn't it? Because you could not eat. Just imagine you are not eating for 2 days, 3 days, 7 days. Mind-made body you can live for years. Sometimes you live 28 years and so on. So that is the pain that I have not eaten. So you can see the birth, aging, sickness, death. After death, I am in the mind-made body. I have not eaten for many days, many years. So that is the pain. Now, the pain has a characteristic of oppressing the body. And that becomes the footing for sadness. Sadness has the characteristic of oppressing the mind. And that leads to the sorrow. You see that you could not eat for lunch for 2 hours or so, then you have the sadness, I could not eat today. So then the body was subject to this pain, and the mind is subject, and so both are subject to the same scenario. Then because they are oppressing, and that becomes the footing for sorrow. So you are sorrowing. All the time we are sorrowing. We are going from sorrow to sorrow. You see, when you are eating something, the bite from here to here, you get the feeling you don't have. Isn't that the feeling, that just passed away? The consciousness that just passed away. Isn't that the one actually telling you to have another bite? The death one. So you are actually going from sorrow to sorrow all the time without knowing it. From the sorrow, you get the lamentation. Then the words are coming out. Oh mother, oh father. You have seen in a funeral house they are crying. Oh father, mother, and so on. So there is a verbal formations. Words are coming out. Parideva, lamentation. So we have seen people, collapse, get fainted in a funeral house and so on because of this scenario. So then you get the distress, a strong distress. Just imagining that you could not eat many days, many years, others are eating and you are watching and you can't eat. So you get the distress so much over here. Because of the distress, it's called upayasa in Pali. Because of the distress, you get birth. It says upayasa paccaya bhava. Because of the distress, you get birth. Some people, can't tolerate this scenario. Others are eating, they have houses, house means this body. I don't. So panic, go into a mother's womb. So the birth will come to your eyes. So some are actually living with distress. And the separation from what is pleasing. How to understand that one? You see, you have a baby type body with the birth. It was subject to aging, sickness and death. And you are in mind-made body. You have not eaten for days, years or whatever, so there is pain. So you were separated from the baby type body. So therefore, separation from what is pleasing. What is the most pleasant thing to you? If someone is asking from a mother, what is the pleasant things for you? Then she sort of ponder and say, my son. And if you have 2 sons, then the other person will be asking, which son? Then she will be speechless, because she can't say this one or that one. And all of a sudden his heart is aching. What would she be saying? Take me to the hospital. See, if one son is dying, then there is another one. But this son is dying, this body is gone, you have nothing. So this is the most pleasant thing to you. So you are separating from your wife, husband, children and so on. They are also counting over here, but take the biggest one, your own body. So you have only one of these things. And if it is separated from the only thing that dear to you, then what you left with? Union with that is displeasing. It is like that, the little boy jumping up and down saying, I want this particular toy. And mother is saying, I can't give you that one, I'll give you this one. So he will throw away that one and saying, I want this one, I want this one. Likewise you are saying, I want this body. You see, union with what is displeasing. I mean, just imagine you are in the mind-made body, others are eating, you get the nice smell of pizza, roti or whatever thing, they are cooking rice and so on. And then is it pleasant to you? Because you can't eat. Like if you are sick and going to the hospital, doctor says, don't give this person any food. It's not good at this stage. And others are eating and the smell is there. Are you happy with that one? No, those are displeasing. So union with displeasing. And then from that one you get not getting what one wants. The not getting what one wants, what is that one? You see, we have learned these 11 terms of this suffering part: birth, aging, sickness, death and so on. Now when you understand this birth is suffering, then that person would be thinking, it will be really good if I am not subject to birth. But if there is craving, there is birth. When someone is subject to aging, that person would be thinking, it would be really good if I am not subject to aging. But when there is birth, there is aging. When someone is subject to sickness, that person is thinking, it would be really good if I am not subject to sickness. But since there is birth, there is aging and sickness. Someone is subject to death, that person would be thinking, it's really good if I am not subject to death. But when there is birth, aging, sickness and death comes. So similarly think about the other terms. So that is not getting what one wants is suffering. In short, the clinging to 5 aggregates, that there are these 5 aggregates mentioned in the website again. 5 aggregates of clinging, that is form, feeling, perception, volitional formation and consciousness. Form or matter is made from these 4 great elements: the element of extension, element of cohesion, element of motion and the element of heat. Element of extension, you can see I can hold this remote control, it extends. Without the element of extension, a thing cannot occupy a space. So the hardness, the softness also due to the element of extension. So whatever hard in the world, the element of extension is more prominent in that one. So all the other elements are also there. Element of cohesion also there, but the element of extension is more prominent. Those 4 elements are inseparable. It can be more and less. So element of cohesion, cohesion is Apo Dhatu in Pali, it's a intermolecular attraction force. Now you can see this mouse and the remote control. If I put on the table, it won't come and join each other. But if there are 2 water bubbles here, because of the wind, also they might come and join. So there is this attraction, cohesion is there. So, things like water, the element of cohesion is more prominent in water, liquid things. And the liquid, you can see the element of extension is there. I can make it colder and so on, it freeze it, then you get the ice, so the extension is there. If I heat it, you can see it vaporizes, so there is a motion. So that is the element of motion. So things like air, element of motion is more prominent. Air is not the element of motion. In air, element of motion is more prominent. And then there is this element of heat. Inside your body, there is this heat. You are getting old because of this one as well. The heat makes you go into aging. And the fruits get ripened because of the heat. So, those are the four elements. So, the matter is made from those four elements, element of extension, element of cohesion, element of motion and element of heat. And the sound, taste, all those things are sort of derived qualities of those four great elements. So, we know about matter. And then there is this feeling. The feeling is first three kinds. Pleasurable feeling, displeasure feeling, neither pleasurable nor non-pleasurable feeling. These three kinds. But if you think about this, if you are sitting down on a chair which is not comfortable, then you get a sort of physical pain. And a comfortable chair, you get the physical happiness. So you can see it is mental and physical, it is 6 kinds. But if you add to that one eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and the mind, so it is 6. And if you think about the future, past and present, so that will be 18. 18 into 6, then you can see 108 kind of feeling. So simply take pleasure, displeasure and neither pleasurable nor non-pleasurable feeling. And then there is perception. From the perception you perceive. You perceive red, green and so on. You perceive a feeling as well. Buddha said, what one feel is what one perceive. What one perceives is what one apprehend. The perception is the one making you go in a wrong way. You see, when you have hair in your head, you comb it, treat it. You think it's as a nice and good thing. But same here, when you see on a piece of, in a plate, when you are eating, in a plate, if you see a piece of hair, then you say it's disgusting. If a waiter is serving you with, hair, then you will blame him. So you have only 2. You can't have 2 correct perceptions, you can have only 1. Either when it is on your head, you are actually saying this hair is good, then you should be saying it's good when it's on the plate. When it's on the plate, you are saying disgusting, then you should be saying same thing when it is on your head. So, which one is correct? You need to pick up yourself. So, it will let go us in a wrong way, this perception. And then there's these volitional formations. Volitional formations are first 3 kinds, that we do have these physical formations, or the bodily formations, verbal formations and the mental formations. So the bodily formations, you can see that we inhale, exhale, bodily actions. So they are physical formations. And then we have verbal formations. We have initial application and sustained application, vitakka vichara. Using that one we utter speech. So they are verbal formations. And then we have mental formations. The feeling, perception, volition, those are mental states. So those are the mental formations. So you breathe in, you have physical actions, you breathe in and then you do killing and so on. So then you can categorize them as meritorious demeritorious, neither meritorious nor non-meritorious. So that is this meritorious, demeritorious scenario. You can see that when you give alms to Buddhist monks, do charity, and the first jhana to the fourth jhana, they are meritorious formations. And the demeritorious formations are, killing is not meritorious, they are demeritorious. And there are these neither meritorious nor demeritorious ones that, space is infinite, consciousness is infinite, though the arupa, they are the formless sphere attainments, those are the neither meritorious nor demeritorious. So, why it is called volitional formations? It is in the Kajjaniya Sutta, Buddha is explained. The volitional formations construct the conditioned form as form. They construct conditional feeling as feeling. They construct conditioned perception as perception. They construct conditioned volitional formation as volitional formation. They construct conditioned consciousness as consciousness. It's a construction. It constructs form as form. You see, there is a table over here. But how do you know this is a table? When you were small, your father, mother, teacher pointing out at a sort of object which has got 4 legs and some sort of flat thing on the top. You said it's a table. Now even if your father, mother are not here, and when you see that sort of object, you say table. If they were teaching you this one as a chair, you would be calling this one as a chair. So you construct what was constructed before. Construct conditioned form as form. Conditioned feeling as feeling. So it's a construction over here. Because it's construct, we say this volitional formations. So it's constructing consciousness as well. The consciousness is sixfold. We get the eye consciousness, ear consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, mind consciousness, so on. So eye and the form, eye consciousness, ear and the sound, ear consciousness. Mind and the phenomena or Dhamma, you get the mind consciousness. So it's like that. You make a wood fire, we say wood fire. If you make a gas fire, we say gas fire. Likewise, eye and the form, eye consciousness, ear and the sound, ear consciousness. So the Buddha is saying, if you are clinging to any of these things, this is the 5 aggregates of grasping. So clinging to those, it is suffering. Now, we are going to learn the meditation part. I said how we do the meditation. You look at the birth in those hell, animal realm, plane of departed, human world, and so on. Having contemplated about this birth as suffering, then you come to aging, then you are already subject to aging. Now you go in front of a mirror. Each time you go in front of a mirror, you think, how am I now compared to what I was before? You are already subject to aging. So even a younger one, even a small child, also same thing. The skin is not beautiful as before. So just fix your mind on that one for a little while. I am subject to aging. And then you come to sickness, and then having seen someone, cancer, heart problems, well, I can get this one today or tomorrow, maybe next birth. And then come to the death. So we come to the death, and where you are starting your meditation. What Buddha said, having seen a dead body, 2 or 3 days pass, as that I have shown you a little while ago, and you think your body is of the same nature. It will become like that one. And then we contemplate a rising and passing away phenomena of that body. So for that one you have this concentration discourse in your book. Then you can have a look at that one. Thus have I heard at Savatthi, there the Blessed One said this, bhikkhus develop concentration. A bhikkhu who is concentrated understands things as they really are. And what does he understand as it really is? The origin and passing away of form. origin and passing away of feeling, the origin and passing away of perception, the origin and passing away of volitional formations, the origin and passing away of consciousness. So that is arising and passing away. We know that one, isn't it? But never think that you know. It is not befitting for us to think like that. Just imagine you go into a lecture thinking that I know, then you wouldn't pay attention, you wouldn't actually look at, try to understand what that person is trying to say. So it's just sort of think about like a rug, your conceit should go down like a rug you will step on. And so go down to up to that level, think, I do not know. It is not befitting even for Arahant to think that I know. Why? Because Buddha knows more than that one, more than the Arahant. So thinking that I do not know, let us see what it is. What bhikkhu is the origin of form? What is the origin of feeling? What is the origin of perception? What is the origin of volitional formations? What is the origin of consciousness? So here we are talking about arising phenomena. Here bhikkhu, one seeks delight, one welcomes, one remains holding. And what is it that one seeks delight in? What does one welcome? To what does one remain holding? One seeks delight in form, welcomes it and remains holding to it. As a consequence of this, delight arises. Delight in form is clinging, with one's clinging as condition existence, with the existence as condition birth, with birth as condition aging and death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, despair come to be. Such is the origin of this whole mass of suffering. So that is the arising phenomenon. So here, one seek delight, one welcome, one remain holding to it. First you need to think, do I do that one? Do I seek delight? Do I welcome? Do I remain holding to it? So you are going to use your own example and sort of understand this Dhamma. Don't think just because you just read it that you understand. Just hearing something or seeing something is different to realizing it yourself. What we are talking about, realizing it yourself. So that is, we are talking about this, get into this, the noble understanding. So just without thinking that I know, try to see it by your own examples. I will give you a simple example to understand this one. A TV is a good example. You go in front of a TV and then you change the channels, switch on the TV and change channels. Now this channel is not good and this one is good. So you seek delight and then you welcome. How do you welcome? You sit down on a chair or something and then you tell your mom or dad or maybe your friend, come, there's a nice picture going on. So that is, you are welcoming it. So you seek delight, you welcome it. And you remain holding to it. Next week, the same time, 7:30 or whatever, you go in front of that plastic box and sit down. So then you are actually saying, you are approving your actions. And I do this one, I seek delight, yes, I welcome, I remain holding. And when you do that one, then the delight arises. This delight is sort of a funny thing. You see that you are taking, let's take a simple example, you take a bite to your mouth. And then there is this pressure from here to here. After that one, you don't feel it. So with this one, you can see the feeling come to arise. The consciousness is aware of this feeling. And then the consciousness passed away. And what you do? You just let it go pass away as it is. So would you mix up another bite and then putting it inside you, inside your mouth? So that means you are regenerating it. So the feeling come to arise. And then there is consciousness. And then the consciousness is aware of the feeling. And then that one is passing away. So otherwise, what we are saying here is consciousness is passing, is the death of consciousness. And you want to do it very fast as well, isn't it? I saw a very good example. One day a mother was feeding a baby. That little boy wanted to eat very quickly. You mixed up and give it to the baby and eating. Open the mouth again. Next one, open the mouth. Very rare chance to see such a thing. And then someone was asking some question from that mother, and then mother was pointing out a pantry cupboard and saying, it is in that particular cupboard that you find it. She couldn't mix it up. And the baby got angry as well, because that bites are not coming in the speed. So this one passed away, you want to regenerate. So what is this delight means? Is when the consciousness passed away, we want to regenerate it, putting a bite, touching the form. So taking the long term, we have a birth, baby type body. It was subject to aging, sickness and death. That what is death? Death is the death of consciousness. If someone passed away, you can see the body is there, but the consciousness is not there. So that is the death of consciousness. So when the consciousness passed away, what you want to do? You want to regenerate by touching another form. So the delight is your desire to be born again. That is, Pali word is Nandi. I want to born again. The delighting form is clinging. Now, you are holding into that one thoroughly. I want today, tomorrow and so on. With the one's clinging as condition, the existence is the existence of very same craving. Whatever the craving you have, that exists. Just imagine sort of a box that you have in your house. Let us say you have a habit that you eat jelly beans. You put $2 to the box. You eat hopper or something, put $5 to the box. And you see a beautiful woman, you put $100,000 to the box. You see a beautiful man, put $100,000 to the box. You see a beautiful baby, $20,000. You see a nice dress, put maybe $100 or so to that box. Now let us say that you are in the mind-made body. And then you see that $2. Why did I put that $2 over there? Because I want to eat jelly beans. So would I get a mouth that I can eat jelly beans? You would get a mouth. It happened to a monk. A monk got a raw material, and that monk was fond of that raw material. He was touching it and so on. Unfortunately, that monk passed away because of a health issue or something. At that particular time, he passed away. He was born as a moth. You know what the monk was thinking? Monk was thinking, I can wrap the raw material, is just a cloth, isn't it? I can wrap this cloth material around my body. So you don't need to be a monk to do that one. A moth can do a better job. It can be inside that cloth. It can eat it. It can pass excrement. It passes urine as well. So this is the characteristic of taint of existence. It says in Pali, prarthani granting abhisankara kaya sankaranti. That means, prarthana means aspiration. So in your example, the aspiration is that I want to have jelly beans. Grantha, time. Time means time to what? The feeling. Time to the feeling that I get after eating the jelly bean. Abhisankara kaya sankaranti. Means for that one you need to have eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and the mind. So that means you are actually constructing a mouth. Constructing a mouth to eat jelly beans. You would get a mouth. But that mouth, as in the case of that monk, may not necessarily be a human one. An ant can eat jelly beans. A worm can eat jelly beans. You get a body. So existence as condition, the birth come to being. Birth as condition, then what do you get? Aging, sickness, sorrow, lamentation, pain, and all those things. So such is the origin of this whole mass of suffering. You ask for form. What you got? A parcel of suffering. It's like you are ordering, wristwatch from the internet. Do they just give you the wristwatch? Now they put it in a velvet type cloth and put a box and then wrap the box, and then around that one you get the bubble wraps and all those things. You didn't ask for those, but they deliver it that way. So then when you get it, you actually remove these things and then say, I don't want these, but I want to watch. You ask for the form, what you get is whole mass of suffering. Unnecessary things was there. So that's one example to understand this one. And here we are meditating like this is a recipe. But this is the Buddhist meditation. Buddhist meditation is not about, just thinking about the inhaling and exhaling. Or maybe looking at the picture and this is red, blue, red and so on. It's thinking and pondering, contemplations. Contemplation about the arising and passing away phenomena. Those are the Buddhist meditations. Even the breathing, you need to contemplate about the arising and passing away, which we will actually tell you sort of on the third day a little bit about it. So here we are contemplating. So some people are saying this is not an example for me because that I don't watch TV. So for anyone I can tell you one good example. The food. The food is the example. One grandma was telling me in outside in the garden. She was telling me, son, I don't like anything in the world anymore. Then I was asking her, what about food, grandma? And she was saying, I don't like food either. And you need to watch where she is heading. She is heading for the curry leaf plant to get this curry leaves to put into the curry. So if you have that sort of a grandma, take her in your car, take it to a fair or something, and she would be saying, buy this one, buy that one, buy this one. At that time you need to point at her. Grandma, you are asking me to buy this one because you like it, isn't it? When people become old age, because of the taste buds are gone, they actually sort of tend to say, I don't like it anything anymore. Like I don't have craving. If you don't have craving, then you don't need to be here because you are an arahant in that case. Don't hide it. Your craving and things, then you can actually, when it is visible, only you can get rid of it. So food is a good example. So put over here as a food, as the example. Or you can put the TV or the food, or both. And do I seek delight? Do I welcome? Do I remain holding? Asking these questions yourself to understand this Dhamma. Yes, I seek delight. I welcome. How do I welcome? How do I know I welcome? Yesterday also I said, having eaten that food, oh, this is yummy. So that means you have expressed, you welcome. Remain holding. I want it today, I want tomorrow, and so on. So because of that one, the delight. And that will actually trigger you for you to be born as well. And then because of the delight, there is this clinging. I want this food today, tomorrow, and so on. And therefore, the existence of the very same craving. And because of the existence, then you get the birth. So the whole mass of suffering come to arise. So what we are trying to understand here, you heard the Buddha's Dhamma, you saw this one over here, and then you are trying to understand, this is a dependent origination. From this one, this come to be. There is a logic in it. So try to understand that one yourself, realize it. So that is what we are trying to do in the meditation. You take your own example and try to see this one. And Buddha said same thing. One seek delight in feeling, perception, volitional formation and consciousness. Same thing. Remain holding to it. As a consequence of this, delight arises. Such is the origin of this whole mass of suffering. Do we seek delight in feeling? We do quite a lot. Tomorrow you will be learning that why we actually come to this earth sort of scenario. You come to this earth because you want, one is that you want to have a body to be born. So we are going to mother's womb. And also you want to have good food. So you are looking for the food as well. For the person who comes that way for the mother's womb, let's say, that person get this happiness. You see, today we are eating pumpkin, for example. Can you eat pumpkin? We are sort of making an assumption here. You see, pumpkin is very hard, isn't it? You need to have a big knife to chop it off. And still you can't eat it, you need to boil it. And then you need about 4 or 5 curries like that one to make your meal. That person who is coming to the mother's womb, that he got the house, that this body is there. And then that person is getting the food. Baby is getting milk, mother's milk, nourishing everything, isn't it? People say it has got even medicines for the baby. So not like pumpkin scenario is really good. So you got the first happiness, complete meal. And then also this mother's breast is inside this person's mouth. So that baby is getting the soothing effect from that one. And then the thirdly, baby's body is touching the mother's body. Mother's body is touching the baby's body. You all like to, sort of cuddle a baby, sort of hold it and so on. You are saying, I love babies. Why? Baby is passing urine excrement and so on. Why you like to cuddle? Because baby's skin is soft. When it is getting in contact with your body, you get the physical happiness. That's why you do. You are not saying, you are saying, I like the baby. It's not that. Because you like yourself, you are going to have happiness. Now the baby's body is so soft, and the baby is getting the happiness from the mother. From the mother's body, warm, warmth and so on. So now there are 3 things. And the fourthly, mother is looking at this baby who is drinking milk from the mother with a compassion eye. Do you get that sort of thing today? That someone give you food and then sort of looking at in a compassionate eye with you? No. So the 4 things are there for the baby. And then 5th one, mother is maybe saying a song, sort of song, lullaby. So you get good for the ear as well. 5 things. What happened to that one when you are sort of, you get this one for 2 years or so, isn't it? What happened when you are 3 years old, 4 years old? Mother got another baby. And then what she does, she actually, cook rice and potato and so on, mix them up and then let you sit down on a table, son or daughter, you eat. And then you can see you try to eat and put crumbs everywhere in your face. You are not happy. Then you are trying to look at the mom. Can I come to you, mom? You can't, because there's your sister or brother with her. And then 10 years old, 11 years old, mother is not touching you that much. And then 20 years old, not at all. So now some are old here, some are young. Even an old person, what do they say? Sometimes, oh mom. The word that oh mom has got so many things in it. The protection she has given. Those 5 kind of pleasure I was talking about. All those things are there. That is what you are looking for. But you cannot find it. Some people, when you are young, someone is touching you for a millisecond or so. Now the skin is grown. Now you got the old rough skin. Now you are still demanding, let me have the feeling when I was young. But you are not going to get it. So some people have fights at home as well because of those things. But we seek delight. we welcome, we remain holding to it. So, in the meditation, for a beginner, I would say you contemplate only on the form and the feeling. Or if you do at least one, that is good enough, either form or feeling. If you have time, you can do both. Don't do the perception, volitional formation and consciousness, which we will do on the third day, because they are a bit difficult. So Buddha said the bhikkhu is the origin of form, origin of feeling, origin of perception, origin of volitional formations. This is the origin of consciousness. So this is how it come to arise. Our own seeking delight, welcoming, remain holding to it. That's how the suffering come to be. And Buddha is explaining the other way around now, passing away phenomena. And what bhikkhu is the passing away of form, passing away of feeling, passing away of perception, volitional formation and consciousness. Here bhikkhu, one does not seek delight, one does not welcome, one does not remain holding. And what is it that one does not seek delight in? What doesn't welcome? To what doesn't one remain holding? One does not seek delight in form, does not welcome it, does not remain holding to it. As a consequence of this, delight in form ceases. With the cessation of delight comes cessation of clinging. With cessation of clinging, cessation of existence. Such is the cessation of this whole mass of suffering. So the other way around. So take the example. One does not seek delight. So in front of the plastic box, you are not going to seek delight, you are not going to switch on it. Some people are saying, I don't watch TV, but so another person, that person says, I don't watch TV, but there is a cricket match going on. If you want, you can watch it. Why is it that person saying? Because that person will watch it and tell me the score. So that means welcoming. You are not going to do that one either. And does not remain holding. That means next week, cricket match or next birth, you are not going to watch it. So, one does not seek delight, does not welcome, does not remain holding to it. You might be considering this one as a boring thing because of the plastic box that I am becoming happy. There are better things than that one. I can tell you, when I close my eyes, I feel my eyelids, eyeball, and the whole forehead and then the whole face happy, pleasurable. When I was working in Australia, when I get 2 minutes break, I close my eyes, I feel the happiness, I have the rapture, and then I can do the job better as well. For when you get in, your faculties develop, you don't have to watch TV to get that happiness. You can do by closing your eyes. Actually, is that TV, does it actually give you the happiness? Let's say you go to work and come back, switch on the TV, and then on the news it says, Afghanistan, they put a bomb and that many babies died. Are you happy? No. Or maybe you are watching some sort of a drama you like to watch. And then inside, when you are watching, there's another drama going inside your mind. You are saying, that girl should have married this boy, not the other one. It's not your drama that they are playing. So wouldn't it be better that you have your own drama? You close your eyes, you have the rapture, happiness and so on. So if you are not doing this, does not seek delight, does not welcome, does not remain holding to it, then the delight ceases. Delight in form ceases. That means you don't want to be born for this song. With the cessation of delight comes a cessation of clinging. The clinging, you are holding it thoroughly, it is not there. With cessation of clinging, the cessation of existence. So for this existence part, as I said, it is the existence of the very same craving. Now, let us imagine, I was talking about a box that you are putting, $2 and so on. That box I was talking about was a special box. It's made of matter, feeling, perception, original formation and consciousness. Just imagine, while you are living, you see jelly beans or you eat jelly beans, but you don't put $2. You see a beautiful woman, you don't put $100,000. You see a beautiful baby, you don't put $20,000 to the box. And you are in a mind-made body. Now you look at the box. Box is empty. If the box is empty, is there any purpose for me to be born? For what purpose? For the jelly beans or what? So you can see, with the cessation of existence comes the cessation of whole mass of suffering. So that is how you end the suffering. Otherwise it continues. When we seek delight, welcome, remain holy. So Buddha said same thing for the feeling, perception, volitional formation and consciousness. Such is the cessation of this whole mass of suffering. This bhikkhu is the passing away of form. This is the passing away of feeling, perception, volitional formation and consciousness. So now you can see this arising phenomenon and the passing away phenomenon. They are not just simple things like popping up and going. It's a long-term thing that our own seeking delight, welcoming, remain holding created this scenario. So if I don't do this one, then it's a cessation. I'm not asking you to give up. What I'm asking is to observe this one, the arising and passing away. When you do that one, a view of the permanency will disappear. And that's the idea. With that one, you understand the noble Dhamma. So, that is what is important. So, you take your example, like a TV or food, and then go through this one. And it's like cooking with a recipe. For cooking with a recipe, you take, you take some food that you like to eat, that do I seek delight, you welcome, remain holding. You put a tick, yes, I do this one, I welcome, I remain holding. And then you are actually asking, because of this one, does the delight arises? That I want to be born in that one, because of this food. I can tell you one good example from Sri Lanka about this delight. In Sri Lanka, in the Vesak time, full moon Vesak time, there is some display of the, some sort of story. And there was this charitable places where they are actually giving food. So there was one place and it was covered with these, rusted metal things. And they were allowed to come to that food place through the gate. And they are watching this display of these Buddhas, whatever the story is. And then all of a sudden someone is coming. They are in a queue. Someone is coming out and then saying, it looks like we are going to run out of rice. And those people, in the queue, they actually went out of the queue, pushed those metal things, rusted things. And if you actually touch them, you might, you need a tetanus injection. You might die because of those things. They went for this food. So the food is very strong example here. It's okay for me to even to die if I get the food. That's what it is. So use your example and go through this one. It's like a recipe. Now you then close the recipe. This is the recipe, this particular part. And then you close the recipe. Then you ask this one. Remember we start this meditation with a dead body. And then you are asking, how did I make this dead body type thing come to arise? Then because you have done this meditation, it might come to your mind, it is because of my craving that suffering come to be. Or because of the existence, the birth come to be. And that is your fortunate moment. The happy moment where you are understanding the noble Dhamma, the dependent origination. At least one link of a dependent origination. When you understand, it makes you a noble one at that time. You need to see yourself. So to do this meditation, to help this one, I'll show you dead bodies. So we look at this dead body a little while ago. That 2 or 3 days passed in the blue colored festering nature. And then you can see then it become swollen here and there, and then this, this watery type things coming up, juice, and then these insects are coming and sort of eating them, and then they are fighting to go inside the mouth, and then you can see they have eaten part of the flesh over here. And this is the type of body I saw. A worm is coming out of the nose and going inside the mouth, and a worm is coming out of the mouth, going inside the nose. At that time, my mind became expanded. What a disgusting thing. So I was in the mind-made body, and that's the time I was contemplating the arising and passing away phenomena. This meditation is very powerful. It sort of shows you, it allows you to sort of see one of your past births as well. You see, our mind-made body has this nature. After death, it's going here and there, looking for a place to be born. Well, as soon as you go there, you can't find it, a mother, suitable father and mother at once. So you didn't find, like you are hunting for a house, you didn't get it. So you are coming back, maybe on a tree or something, you are actually looking at your previous body, you are looking at it. And those vultures eating this body, and then you will sort of see one of those bodies from your past births. So when you see, then it become expanded. What a disgusting thing. And that time, you are in a mind-made body, then you are meditating on the arising and passing away phenomena. So, you can see this is shrinking now. Body parts, leg is bit shrink, and you can it's visible over here. And then it going to the other parts of the body, the stomach and the other leg. And then you can see the color of the body is also changing because of the sunlight and so on. And it's decaying, it's mixing up with the soil. And the final one you can see is mixed up with the soil. And that's what we are trying to struggle. We are trying to get these things, this sort of a body, which is subject to this nature. So, contemplate there. So, you look at the birth, birth in hell, animal realm, plane of departed, human world, divine world, Brahma world, old suffering. And then you take snapshot of your current form, the aging. You are already subject to aging. What is next for you? What happened to your grandmother, grandfather? That is what is coming. That is sickness and the death. So when it comes to sickness, you think that how she was or he was suffering, cancer and so on. I will get that one. And then come to death, and you are also subject to same thing. So now you visit your grandfather or whoever, the dead body that you have seen, you visit from your mind now. Go there and then lie down your body next to it. Don't bury it, don't cremate it, let it be there for 7 days or so. Then you can see this disgusting thing will happen, excrement, urine coming out, and like these dead bodies you have seen. Now your mind become vast, so at that time you contemplate the arising and passing away phenomena using the concentration discourse. So don't forget about the concentration discourse part. That is the important part, the arising and passing away.